Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Air Force Brown 95. Right now I'm on the VATSIM network, cruising at flight level 330 en route from St. Louis to Atlanta. This is a shared cockpit flight. I'm in the left seat, captain. Right seat is my friend Zed. He's currently AFK. He'll be back in a couple of minutes, but in the meantime, Austin is also with us. He is that contrail that you see there at our 6 o'clock position. He's a Delta 75 at flight level 390, also flying to Atlanta. Austin, say hello.
What's up, guys?
And then Dane is here too on the TeamSpeak. Dane, say hi.
Hi.
So we're going to take care of a couple questions that you guys have asked, kind of another FAQ segment similar to the one I did a while ago with Austin. And we'll try to knock out some questions that I get asked a lot. The first thing I want to start off with is my setup has changed a little bit in terms of what edition of FSX I'm using and what client I'm using for VATSIM. Right now I'm connected to vPilot, and that's what I'll be using pretty much from now on. I'm also in FSX Steam Edition now. I don't even have Box Edition anymore. I don't need it. I was using it for VATSIM, but as you see now, Steam Edition is working fine for VATSIM. For some reason, Box Edition was becoming a little bit more laggier than Steam Edition, so I'm now vPilot and on Steam Edition. Aside from VATSIM, people ask all the time what server am I on? What server do I join? What the fuck was that? But anyways, for the trolling and the chaos type videos, I usually either join sessions that are specifically titled free flight, and if I don't, if there aren't any, good free flight servers that are on, I'll host my own. So it's not a dedicated server, it's only up as long as I'm hosting it. If you want to know when I'm hosting, peep my Twitter at Air Force Brown 95. I do follow back. I try to tweet whenever I host. I also retweet a lot of memes and fun stuff, so you better check that shit out. Shameless plug. Still getting questions about competitions, how to join and everything. It is now fsxcc.com. I'm trying to host competitions like once every couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks maybe, depending on how busy I am and stuff. I get asked a lot YouTube channels about the people that I fly with most often, and that's Austin for many years. I've been flying with Emil, Zed. This is actually our first time flying a shared cockpit as I speak. And then Dane. We're all in flight training at different levels. Austin's now a CFI. Hats off to him. You're 19 still and a CFI?
Yeah, almost 20.
Money, dude. Dane's working on his commercial multi. Myself, I finished commercial multi-engine add-on, so I'm now commercial multi-engine rated. Zed is trying to wrap up his private right now, and then Emil is working on commercial as well. Emil's not, he's not with us currently. Not that he's dead, he's just not on our TeamSpeak. Phrase that as if he had ripped out. But anyways, yeah, that's who I fly with most often, and people ask a lot, do they have YouTube channels? They do. I have all of them. I should have all of them in my suggested channels. The suggested channels list on my channel should be on the right side or something. I should also have them listed as collaborators in this video, so it might be in the description or something, links to their channel. One last thing, what I'm recording with and what I edit my videos with. I'm recording now. This is with OBS. I'm not running a really powerful setup, but I'm able to run Flight Sim really smoothly and record via my webcam, which was a complete pain in the dick before. I'm using that, and I use Fraps as well. Fraps for like the competition videos and when I'm not using the webcam. So that's the setup. My windshield wipers are on. What the hell? Is that Zed? Is Zed back on?
Yeah, he's back.
Hey, firm.
Okay, Zed is back with us now. People ask me a lot of time about payware, and I'll talk about the shitty graphics in a minute. I know that's a very popular comment that I get on a lot of my, especially VATSIM videos, just because it's, the major airports and everything. But really, I don't have that much payware because, number one, a lot of the payware has issues with the shared cockpit flights, and then also, it's really hard on the frames. Like, I've gotten several payware aircraft that I was really excited to fly, and then, like, even at minimum settings, I get maybe 15 frames tops. And that brings me on to talk about my system. I'm limited to a laptop. I have an A6 QX550 because I'm back and forth between home and school in different places, so I can't have a desktop right now, just for that reason. So I'm on a laptop, but it's a higher end laptop. I don't have my flight sim loaded up with many add-ons, so that's also why the graphics at times look pretty shit. But I'm really more just about just the essence of flying, or whatever you want to call it, rather than all the fancy details. I don't know, that's just my style. Moving on, how am I flying? As you see here in the webcam, I have a yoke currently. This is the Yoko yoke. I don't have a throttle quadrant right now. I'm still using keyboard, my Microsoft wireless keyboard. So I'm half noobing it still. I'm still so used to mouse and keyboard flying, I really haven't moved on from that. But I do have the yoke now, getting used to that. We'll see my landing in Atlanta. Hopefully I don't fuck it up too bad, but I'll be using the yoke for that. Last question before we talk about more real-world flying and get the whole discussion going on is, people ask, why my videos aren't longer, especially the trolling videos, that shit takes a long time to edit. The only thing that takes...
It does take a long time for him to edit, because when I try to go to sleep at 4 in the morning, he's dedicating his life to editing these videos for you guys. So you thank him, alright? Because it keeps me up
better
all
believe
night.
it. You better believe that shit. Dane and I were roommates. That's how he knows that. Not that he's like peeping through my window or something. At least I hope not. That's why a 10-minute video, like a trolling video loaded with captions, nah. But I could do like 7-minute videos reasonably. That explains the shitty graphics sometimes. I'm on a laptop, okay? That explains why my videos are 6 to 8 minute range usually. Sometimes I get it up to 9 minutes if I'm really feeling boss and I really have nothing to do a certain day. Oh, I still edit my videos with Windows Movie Maker. Yeah, I get shit on all the time because of that. But that program has a lot more to it than what meets the eye. Trust me, I know the ins and out of that bitch. Okay, now we can talk about some real-world flying. Just as we're cruising. We're still cruising to Atlanta right now. We're going to figure out when we have to descend here. Hopefully we don't just overshoot the airport and get forcibly kicked off of VATSIM. What do you guys want to talk about? What got us into flying? Or like how it's going? How about that? What got us into flying?
Sure.
Why not? Just so you know a little bit more about it. What got me into flying? My dad was a pilot, so I kind of had that exposure pretty young age. But really, what solidified my interest in flying was flight sim, to be honest. Like 12 years old, got FSA. I remember that was like the best best $60 investment I've ever made in my life. I remember it was like 12, going to Best Buy, picking up the box edition off the shelf, and like, yes, this is going to be so legit, like I'm a real pilot now. And then I installed it, and I had a shitty computer, so the graphics were just like Minecraft status, and I was so disappointed. But I upgraded my system soon after that, got into more complex flying, you know, like multiplayer, figuring the shit out. I did that for maybe 3 years or so. And then as soon as I turned 17, I decided that I wanted to start real flight training. So I got my private pilot's license over the summer after my sophomore year of high school. And then from there, the next summer, I got my instrument rating. And then attending college now and flying. That's how it happened for me, really. It's just kind of been a long-term thing. It's always been something that I've been interested in. Private and instrument was really enjoyable for me. It wasn't really, stressful or anything because I knew so much going into it from flight sim. So that's another question I get asked, like what kind of advice, like starting real-world flying, aside from the whole, financial advice I could give about that, because that's different for everyone. If you have that squared away and you're ready to go into flight training, FSX really does make a huge difference. Maybe some of these guys could talk about that a little bit more, but for me it made a really significant impact. So that's how I got into flying, and I still like it. Yeah, I'm still flying in flight sim right now. You see, what's it been, like 8 years about? Yeah. Crazy. Time flies. No pun intended. Who wants to go next? Who's ready to speak on how they got started flying?
Yes, excuse me, I'm having FMC problems.
Alright, it all started in July of 2002. I was living with my uncle at the time because I just gone through a divorce, unfortunately. Yeah, I know.
Personal.
Fucking 375 me already. Yeah, but no, this ties into it because at this point in my life, I felt like even at a young age, I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do. I saw my uncle one day on the computer, and I saw planes, I saw him on a chase plane view in FS 2002. I later found out, and I remember just being captivated, just be like, what? Are you actually flying things on your PC? This was shit graphic, but I loved it. He let me play with the keyboard, as David does nowadays. Like, really, dude?
You know it. You know it, bitch. Mouse and keyboard for life.
Then he once took me to Fort Lauderdale Airport. I was 8 years old. He took me for the first time to the viewing area for Lauderdale Airport and watching planes taxiing by and take off at, back then it was 9 or left. That's where it all started. I got my copy of FS 2004 on one Christmas morning and I was hooked. But anyways, that's for my real life flight training I started last November. After a few delays, I reinstated that progress back in January, and I'm just about almost check ride ready at this point, which is pretty exciting. Of course, it does suck to be the only one in this group that's not a pilot, but yeah, I mean, aviation's been something I've been abnormally and unhealthily addicted to ever since that day at Fort Lauderdale Airport.
True that. True
so that's my compressed version.
That's his spiel. Austin, what about you?
Yeah.
I got started into it at a young age as well.
Yeah, I'm looking up the chart.
I grew up in Southern California as a kid, and my dad worked at Edwards Air Force Base, and wasn't in the military, but just worked in conjunction with it. During the summer times, there'd be big air shows there, and a lot of cool military planes that you wouldn't see otherwise. And I just remember as a kid getting interested into it that way, but never really was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a pilot. But it was just always something I found interesting. And then, elementary school, middle school, later then started to get into the flight sims, same as you guys. Messed around with Flight Simulator 2004, saw that at I saw it at Target once and was just like, this looks cool. Also messed around with the Combat Flight Simulator, so just messed around with that on the computer, just, you know, fully built into it, kept the interest of flying going. And then junior high, I started really get interested into actually getting into real flying. Still, you know, still too young to like make it worthwhile to start flight training, but that's when I met you guys or David at least, in the landing competitions way back when.
Way back when.
GameSpy
I'm
days.
talking squeaker days.
Yeah, back when I had a whole different entire username and all that other stuff. That's when I started to get real into it. And then high school, when I was 15, I started flight training a little bit, and then soloed when I was 16. Got my private when I was 17, and then started flight training at the university here, and then worked my way through the ratings then, and then late last year, Thanksgiving time, I got my flight instructor rating, and then
Did
just
that
a couple
shit
months.
quick.
Yep, and then I got my CFII back in April this year. So now I'm just instructing, have a couple students, pretty fun, seeing the other side. So yeah, that's how I got into it, and looking forward to a pretty cool career.
Dane, what about you?
Oh boy, alright, so let's see here. I never wanted to be a pilot. I was into weather. I was into weather in the beginning.
Yeah, I met a Dane, the meteorologist, on the evening news.
Yeah, so I wanted to be that, and then my dad bought me FS 2004 boxed edition. I decided to install it on my Dell computer.
Like a 4x3 monitor, I can picture that actually.
Yeah, started playing. Remember, I did the first mission with the ultralight. Could barely start the plane. Took me about 20 minutes. So I finally got that puppy started. Was playing with the WASD keys. Was going all over the place, but it was still fun for me. Screwed around a bit for that, and then I remember I did that 7-4 mission, and I learned a lot. Learned out what spoilers and reverse thrusts were, and what an auto throttle was, because I would always overshoot the runway because the auto throttle would still be on as I touched down. Other than that, then my uncle has been a pilot for about 15 years. He just asked one day if I wanted to go with him. I was like, yeah, sure, because I was into FSX, wanted to see what it was like in the real world. So he took me up in his Piper Arrow 2. 1973, flew around for a bit,
Throwback.
And then I thought it was dope. So me and my dad sat down with the boss of the flight school and talked costs and stuff. Money wasn't an issue, of course. Where I come from, I was born in a load of wealth. No, just kidding. We're suffering with the cost of the university tuition, and I still have 3 other siblings, so
Rip.
they're gonna be screwed for college. Kind of sucked all the money out of the way.
Rip their hopes and dreams instantly.
Yeah, but you know, at least one kid's future is set. Anyway, I'm having fun right now. Recommendations for you kids out there pursuing a career in this field: keep your head up, no matter the cost.
Hey, Dane, tell us about your future aspirations.
Oh yeah, I will be banner towing Piper Cubs 1962
Low and
down the
slow,
Jersey
baby.
Shore. Low and slow, that's right. Yeah, hopefully won't kill myself.
Fingers crossed on that one.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just having fun, you know, flying around, trying not to kill myself. I learn everything each flight, you know.
I love a
Amazon.
story, Dane. In the meantime,
Yeah.
Zed, we're descending into Atlanta. I got us on the correct headings according to the chart, but we'll continue our descent into ATL. ATC is offline, clearly, as you can tell right now, or else we'd be violating some serious airspace and may have already been booted off the network. Yeah, so we're going to continue this arrival into Atlanta. That was, again, Zed is flying with me in the right seat. Austin is also joining us on this flight. He's at Delta 75 trailing behind us. Other than that, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed our stories and all that we had to say.
Remember to check out my channel. I only have 7 subs, trying to get them up. Thanks, guys. I'll be sure to post more than 4
Shameless
videos.
plug. Hey, as I mentioned before, or else I don't know if I'm going to be in the same video or not, but I have all of their channels on my suggested channels list, so you can find that. It should be on the right side of your screen when you're on my channel, so you can check them there. They'll also be listed as collaborators in this video, so you can find their channels that way as well. We have a plane to land, though, so thank you guys for watching. Air Force Proud 95. I'll see you next time. Everyone else say goodbye.
See you.
Yep.
Yeah.